everyone. So I wanted to kind of reach out and give you some information about the text-dependent analysis that is due on Friday. You are examining who is to blame for Juliet's suicide. There are a lot of players in our story. You can blame Juliet herself. You can blame Romeo. You can blame the nurse. You can blame Friar Lawrence. You can choose anyone who's to blame that played a part in this story, as long as you can prove it with evidence from the text. Remember, when you're looking at a TDA, you want to start with an introduction. I've included a little video that I found on YouTube that explains how to write an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Remember, for just a text-dependent response, you only need one body paragraph, but you're still going to make that claim, cite that evidence, explain that evidence, and elaborate on that evidence and how it answers the question. The video actually includes 3 body paragraphs, but you only need one body paragraph. On longer TDAs, such as for the EOC or the ACT or SAT, you're going to want those 3 body paragraphs. But you're going to start with the introduction. Your introduction needs to hook your reader. Why was Juliet to blame? Who was to blame? And then you're going to answer the question, set the stage, talk about what is taking place, why we're even placing blame. Introduce the answer that you have. The nurse is to blame. The friar is to blame. Because, and then state that response. Then in your body paragraph, you're going to expand on the evidence. The text says, you can talk about the snowball effect of all of the different events that came into place for Juliet to kill herself. And then, of course, a conclusion that wraps everything up, restates the thesis, and provides some sort of interesting insight. So you need an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. If you are confused, I've gone back to where we first started TDAs at the beginning of the year, and I have reattached those documents, those videos, and the how to write a thesis statement, how to write an introduction, all of that. I've gone back and put that at the top of our materials list so that it will be there for you. You can look at what is expected to write a thesis, what is expected to write an introduction, and you can look at those. Remember, when you are writing your introduction, you want to have a hook, something that grabs your reader's attention, and it needs to be something general. You don't just want to start out and say, Juliet killed herself. You want to, anyone who hasn't read the story doesn't need to know that yet. They need to be worked slowly into the idea that Juliet killed herself. So if you have maybe in Act 4, Scene 1 and 2, a series of unfortunate events takes place, and it ends with Juliet's suicide. Just some way to work your way into that story. Who is to blame for Juliet's suicide? That is the question you're going to answer. You may say, Juliet is to blame for her own death. Because, and then state your answer. Then your body paragraph is going to follow that proves Juliet is to blame for her own suicide. Romeo is to blame. Whoever you choose, you're going to work that through the body paragraph. And then just write a simple conclusion that restates your claim. Juliet is to blame because she is ultimately the master of her own fate. Only a couple of sentences in the introduction, 2 to 3 sentences as an introduction, 2 to 3 sentences as a conclusion. The meat of your paragraph is going to be in the body paragraph. I've also included how to write a text-dependent analysis. It's called TDA Organization. Review that video. You can mute it because the music is kind of annoying, but you should be able to at least watch the slides, and they should make sense. They talk about everything from what a claim is to what an introduction should look like to how to state a claim, but you're going to apply your Romeo and Juliet question to all of those things. I hope everyone is doing well. Remember, if you need anything, reach out to me at your scheduled time for the online session. Third block is 12 o'clock. Fourth block is 2:30. If you have any questions about your TDA or anything else, feel free to reach out.